Welcome to the 14th episode of Conscious Awakening. Today we have Miss Michelle Mariano, and she's the co-founder of Prism Sacred Smudging Collections.
Yes.
And the other co-founder, Ken Lau.
Yes.
That's his last name.
My partner, Ken Lau.
Yes, her partner, Ken Lau. He could be here today, but but I only have a setup for 2 mics. So
he's here in spirit.
He's here in spirit.
Yes.
So shout out to Ken.
Yes. I love you.
Oh, cute. So I met Michelle a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Maybe even a month, but yeah.
A month. I don't know. Time. What is time?
Right.
So I met her at the TLIT, like CES.
Yeah, the after party. Yeah.
Well, wow, that was a month ago because CES was in January.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I was there supporting Colleen and Eric.
Yes.
Who've already been guests on my episodes.
I know.
She's next. Now she's next, and yeah, she I don't know. We just chatted for a bit, and I just definitely wanted her to be on my episode.
Thank you. I'm honored. I'm really excited.
Yeah, and Eric, it's a good thing Eric gave me that little reminder. You'd be like, oh my God, you should have Michelle on your podcast. I was like, yes, I've been meaning to hit her up. So
yes, I'm really glad it worked out. Yes,
Yay.
thank you.
And it's beautiful outside. Today we are at Gardens Park
on
the west side of Las Vegas. There's actually a farmer's market going on right now. It's a Tuesday.
Every Tuesday. Their produce is really good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm actually going to go later.
I was thinking of doing that too when we get finished.
I just started the celery cleanse.
Oh, girl, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm on day 4, so far so good.
Feeling good?
Yeah, I'm feeling great.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so going back to topic, I wanted to talk to her about smudging, because I do it, but I don't really know much about it.
Well, that's great. I would love to talk about it. I could talk about it all day, every day. So I think the main thing that I like to tell people, and I say this all the time, is I personally believe that there's no one right or wrong way to implement smudging or kind of any of this energy work, practice, healing stuff that we do.
Back up. So what exactly is smudging?
So smudging is the ceremonial act of burning dried herbs, most popularly sage. So there's metaphysical benefits. So the main purpose is to clear negative energies, but there's actually scientific benefits as well.
Yes.
In scientific studies, burning sage and smudging is proven to eliminate up to 94% of airborne bacteria in a closed space for a period of up to 24 hours. So in addition to like cleansing our vibes, it actually does cleanse your air, and there's aromatherapy benefits as well. And something really interesting about smoke-based remedies actually have the fastest absorption by the brain. So it's a really good way to get it into your body and into your system. The aromatherapy benefits are elevated mood, calmness, and enhanced focus.
Wow. Yeah. See, I love that you brought in the scientific aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because, there's this podcast is focused on like spirituality, but I feel like there's a lot of people that are like, oh, spirits on one side, science is the other side.
Exactly. There really is a very interesting place where they meet, and I think that that's something really cool about this kind of stuff, is because, again, I really don't believe that there's one right or wrong way, and I think that there can be something in it for everyone, and we actually have, maybe in a little bit I can show you kind of what's in one of our collections, but in our pamphlet, and when I talk to people, we always say that it's for everyone and there's no one right or wrong way. So if you want to use it for smudging to get rid of negative energies, you can do that. Cleansing your crystals, you can do that. For cleaning your air, you can do that. Aromatherapy benefits, or if it's just something you want to have out for decoration, like you can do that too. Whatever way that it resonates with you, I believe is the right way, because a lot of the times, say you don't know what smudging is, so most people will go to like Google or YouTube, and you might look up a video, and there are some things out there that are extremely specific, like hold the smudge bundle in this hand and start in the whatever southwest corner of your room and face this way and move your arm this way.
I've read those.
Absolutely, and so I'm nothing against those. I feel like if that's a practice that resonates with you, then absolutely do that. But I don't think that everyone has to do it that way every time. And also, on an individual level, if you feel a certain way about smudging and you want to make your ritual or practice a certain way one day and then do it differently the next day, I feel like that's fine too. It can really change depending on how you're feeling. Like, so around the full moon, I usually personally make like a big deal about using smudging to cleanse my crystals, because if you're into crystals, it's believed that they can absorb and emit energies, and so if we keep them cleared, then it helps them connect with us and continue to do their best work. And the full moon is a really powerful time to charge them. So a lot of the times on the full moon, I'll get my crystals out and I'll smudge them with sage, and then I'll have like music on and do this whole ritual. But then there are times when the house is just stale and I need to like vacuum and clean, and I'll open the windows and do a quick smudge and that's it.
Yeah.
So it really just depends on what you want to get out of it. It can be something that's quick and like an air freshener, you know, or it can be something that's a really deep meditative self-care experience.
I love how you said air freshener because I just love the smell of Palo Santo. Me personally.
Yes, me too. I have
so I just
Palo
use it
Santo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's funny because the other day when we went hiking, I had just like cleaned the inside of my car, so it kind of smelled a little chemically, and so I just took some Palo Santo, and
that's
it was like
great. Palo Santo is one of the best natural air fresheners, and with smudging too, something cool about it is that it also can be a natural insect repellent.
Oh.
So if like I'm vegan, and if you're someone that's into, you know, compassion and taking care of like all little creatures and buggies, and I mean that doesn't necessarily mean we want them biting us, you know, or in our face. So it can be a natural way to kind of entice the pests and move away. Yeah, exactly. And too, like just going back to air freshener, like I'm someone personally who I'm very sensitive to artificial fragrances and chemicals, but you still want like air freshener. So this is a really nice natural way.
Yeah.
To put a nice scent in your space.
I always keep a Palo Santo in my car, and that's kind of like my ritual every morning before I head off somewhere. I just do a little Palo Santo when I'm sitting in the driver's seat.
I love that. Amazing.
Yeah, it's just a quick, simple way how I do it.
Yes.
But so other than sage and Palo Santo, are there any like more popular smudging?
Well, if it's okay with you, I can actually pull out like one of the collections.
Oh
that
yeah,
we
no,
have,
please. Oh
and
my
then
gosh.
I can go through kind of what's in there because there's a few different elements that maybe we can talk a little bit about, and that might answer some of your questions.
Yeah,
and if you have more questions, you can let me know. So we offer a variety of offerings in our shop, and we have the deluxe smudging collection, which I'll show you, and then a mini collection, and plus we also have gorgeous crystal jewelry that Ken makes. He made me my ring.
Oh, I was gonna say
lapis,
that's so beautiful.
And just a variety of healing crystals too. So the deluxe collections are what we believe is all the essentials so our mission statement is providing all the essentials for creating beautiful, unique, and deeply healing sacred smudging experiences in the most compassionate and environmentally friendly way possible. So we believe, thank you. So we believe that the deluxe collection embodies that, and that it has everything in there that you would need, whether you're a first timer or you're someone that uses smudging on a regular basis, everything that you would need in there. So this is our
as the sun comes
deluxe
out
collection. I love that. So this is our deluxe collection. And so our
huge.
Thank you. The logo actually, I don't know if you can like see this on your camera, but yeah. So this was actually channeled during meditation, our logo. Yeah, beautiful. So there's a little something to the logo. So the I've always seen like Reiki energy, healing energy as rainbows, like when I meditate or have sessions. And you know, each of our chakras are a different color.
Yeah.
So the rainbow represents the energies of like universal energies and all the chakras, and then the black and white is like yin and yang energies.
Oh yeah.
Coming together in conjunction with crystal healing, and then like a prism of like healing white light coming through that. And the hummingbird is actually a messenger of like spirits. And
really, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so if you Google hummingbird spirit medicine, and then there's like 3 sparkles on there. 3 is a really sacred number, and then sun and moon and a mandala. So
I love hearing like the story behind logos and just stories, just something visual. So
I feel really excited because when I was meditating, the image actually just came in meditation, and so I just finished meditating and got on my phone and
or doodled it.
I actually used Canva. It's a really cool app.
I keep hearing about that.
It's cool, and it had all the elements. So anyway.
Side story. Fun fact.
So this is our deluxe collection. So there's a really detailed pamphlet in here. So I always love to talk to everyone about smudging, but we send this away because it is a lot of information. So there's like a little story on the front, kind of a letter from us. And then this is like every single thing that's in the kit. And I'll talk to you about what's in there, but this goes over the details of the fan, the bundle, what's the Palo Santo, selenite, the spray, like how to smudge, the basics of how to smudge, and also about balancing energies, which I'm really excited to talk about. So what we have in our fan, like the most popularly known element for smudging is our smudge bundles, and so we make these ourselves. Ken and I wrap them. So it's green sage, rosemary, because you were asking what's something else popular.
That's me.
I know. It was so funny because when I met you and we were talking about you afterward, Ken and I was like, her name is Rosemary. It's so perfect. We need to talk about smudging. And it's actually one of my favorite things to smudge as well. Like the combination we created was for the aroma, because I don't know if you've ever smudged with rosemary, but it has a really distinctive, strong, sweet smell.
I have the essential oil, so I don't know if it's too different from the actual
Well, you'll have to try it out and see.
Cool.
So we do, it's green sage, rosemary, and then it's adorned with karma orchids. And we use green sage intentionally, so there's a lot of different varieties of sage that you can use for smudging. White is probably the most popularly used, but you can use any different variety. There's green, black, purple.
Whoa.
Yeah,
purple.
there's a lot of, the leaves are really beautiful, and you can smudge with any different type. A lot of it is wildcrafted, which means like you go out in nature and find it yourself. People grow their own sage. We chose green in accordance with sustainability, because as smudging becomes more popularized, white sage isn't technically endangered, but it is becoming more scarce, and it also doesn't grow wild in Nevada very well. Right now we're living in an apartment, so the dream in the future is to have our own garden so we can grow our own white sage and harvest it ourselves. But right now we have access to wholesale green sage, and so we felt that in accordance with sustainability that would be the best choice for us right now. And I actually personally prefer the smell of green sage myself. Yeah, and they're all great. We use white at home too sometimes, but green, I really like the aroma of it, and I think in conjunction with the rosemary, to me, it's just perfect. So the green sage is, in ancient times, or medieval times I should say, it was called Salvia salvatrix, which means sage the savior, because it's believed to have such abundant medicinal benefits even since back then. And it's most popularly used for cleansing the negative energies. Rosemary is considered the herb of remembrance because it's thought to strengthen our focus and memory.
That's weird. No, because when my friend gave me the Ram Dass book, she just wrote remember. And I was like, what the heck?
That is so cool, that connection.
Yeah, that connection. Now I gotta just look into it more. I gotta meditate more.
Absolutely.
But anyways, continue.
No, that's cool. There's always time to stop for synchronicities. It's so amazing the way that things come together, and I love hearing it. So cool. So yeah, stone of remembrance, the herb of remembrance. I'm always crystals too in my mind. So
no, me too.
The herb of remembrance, so it's thought to strengthen our memory, and it's also good for warding off nightmares and promoting peaceful sleep. And karma orchid is my favorite flower, and karma orchids represent love, strength, and beauty. So we thought that was a really beautiful combination to put into our smudging bundles. So we have that, and then you talked a little bit about Palo Santo, and these come bundled together, but I'm going to take this apart so we can talk about it.
Cool. And selenite's my favorite crystal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good. Crystals. We'll get into crystals. So this is Palo Santo, and I know you said you love the smell of it. So Palo Santo means holy wood. It's one of the most fragrant types of wood on the planet. It has hints of citrus, pine, and peppermint. And something really cool about it, and something that we like, is that in conjunction with compassion, it's actually harvested only from fallen trees. It's actually illegal to harvest live Palo Santo trees. I didn't know that. So the resin in the wood is what gives it that strong aroma, and that aroma is cultivated after the tree has fallen. So it's a period of, I think, at least 3 years that the fallen tree has to sit for the resin to culminate and create that aroma, and then it's harvested for Palo Santo. And the resin is rich in D-limonene, which is actually proven to help fight cancer. Oh, wow. There's a lot of really cool aromatherapy benefits to Palo Santo as well. So that's one of my favorite things to burn. And then we have selenite wand that comes in every collection. So you said that that's your favorite.
My favorite.
Selenite is one of the highest vibrational stones. It opens our crown chakra, which allows universal energy or source energy or God energy, or however that resonates with each person individually. It allows that energy from outside of us to flow in through our crown and to come through the rest of our chakras, and to clear and balance our chakras and help to block out negative energies or help them flow out. I mean, it's also considered like an energetic shield, so you can actually run it over your aura like an energetic comb, where it actually repels negative energies. So a stone like black tourmaline is a stone that connects with our root chakra, and it's a grounding stone, but it absorbs and transmutes negative energies. And so selenite does the opposite. Repels.
Oh, wow.
And it's one of the only stones that never needs to be cleansed or charged. Like we were talking about, that you can use smudging to actually cleanse your stones. There's definitely no harm in smudging a selenite, but it never needs to be cleansed or charged. It's such a high vibration that it always maintains that. And actually keeping other crystals or objects near it can amplify their energies as well. So So that's part of the reason that we include it in the collection, because we believe that it amplifies all the energies in the collection, and you can use it while you're smudging, take it out and use it during meditations, carry it with you, whatever way that it resonates. But we just thought going along with, okay, what's everything you need for a really positive smudge? Selenite to us is definitely an essential.
Yeah, it's funny because my friend just had her birthday yesterday and I gave her a selenite tower.
Oh,
yeah, and my other friend, basically I just love to gift selenite because it's just like everything that you said.
Yes, we actually, Ken and I were so blessed and excited to go to the Tucson Gem Show to try and expand our inventory. It was amazing. It was our first time, so we definitely have some things to learn for next year because there's so much to see.
Like, it's pretty overwhelming, right?
It was, but I mean in a good way. We went with no expectations, and we were just so happy to be there, and we feel very strongly that in any situation really, but in that type of a situation, that we're just going to go with the flow, enjoy it, and whatever is meant for us will come to us. And we got so much awesome stuff, but selenite, we got a lot of selenite. It was just like so gorgeous. So we're happy to have this in the collection. And then, so as an alternative to smudging, we actually make our own handcrafted signature sacred smudge spray. So as an alternative to smudging, you can actually get all the benefits of smudging, but in a spray. Smudge smoke is really potent, and people like me, like I'm sensitive to smoke. I still love it. I like the aroma of it. And definitely, as a side note, I would highly recommend opening a door or window or both when you're smudging, because it is very potent. So in addition to ventilating your space energetically, it's also recommended that you can respectfully but firmly invite any negative energies to leave your space through the open door or window. But so if you're someone who, if you're sensitive to smoke, or you're somewhere where you can't burn things, you know, maybe like at your job, or if it's just something that you want to keep with you and have it on the go, we make the smudge spray. So the spray is really cool. It's in a reusable amber glass bottle. It's leak proof, so that's really good, and the amber glass protects the essential oils inside from UV rays, which would break them down faster. So it's a combination of essential oils. We use sage, lavender, lemon, and geranium oil. And then in larger jars, we also, when we're making the batches, we infuse it with fresh sage, rosemary, palo santo, and karma orchids. And we also add pink Himalayan salt, which amplifies the energy of the spray and is an energetic purifier. And when we're creating them, I have clear quartz crystals at home that I meditate with and program the intention into the spray. And then when we put them in the bottles, there's clear quartz chipstones inside as well. Yeah.
Cool.
And all of these, we always charge them in sunlight and moonlight, and we infuse Reiki energy into everything that we create, and we set the intention that they be connected with whoever is meant for them, because we're definitely not, if anyone ever comes to shop with us, you'll see we're absolutely not high pressure sales people. We really believe that these are energetic healing tools, and that whoever is meant to connect with them will connect with them. So that's part of the intention that we set when we're creating them. So, and you're welcome to give this a try if you want.
Oh yeah.
I normally just, like, I'll spray it. I can also kind of call it like energetic perfume, because I also I just spray it up and kind of let it fall.
Oh yeah, just let the mist kind of fall on you.
It's a really good room spray too. Like you can spray it in the room, or like a linen spray. We spray it on the bed a lot, and you can use it to cleanse your stones too. Just the only caution, going back to selenite, it's one of the only stones, well, one of the few stones, I should say, that can't get wet. It's a type of gypsum, so it will dissolve in water. Like a drop of water on it is okay, but you definitely don't want to run it underwater or spray it with your spray, right? Because in addition to smudging, there are a lot of different ways that you can cleanse your stones, but some people run them underwater as well. So that's definitely not something you would want to do with selenite. Do you want to spray it, or would you like me to just spritz you?
Can you please spritz me?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to spray some up. Oh, the wind. Here, we'll do it this way. Tell me if you get it. There you go.
Yeah, I feel it. Yay!
Yeah, so you can see, I'll take a little bit myself.
You're like, oh, might as well.
Never say no. So, as you can see from like having used it, because it's an alternative to smudging with the bundle or the Palo Santo, it's a really light, bright floral scent, because I really wanted it to be an alternative, where if you're smudging, you get that really powerful aroma, and with this is just more of a light, like refresher, but it's all the same benefits, so it's really up to you. And then we have our smudge fan that comes in the collection.
It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
You're welcome to check it out. So I make these, and I would love to tell you about all the elements that are on the fan. So if anyone's new to smudging, basically, and these basic instructions, oh great, thank you. Yeah, so
Vanna White it.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the back, and then the amethyst is on the front. But I'll definitely. I really want to talk about everything that's on there. I'm super excited.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. So, I'll point them out.
Yeah, no, thank you. Well, so if anyone is new to smudging, what you would do is take your bundle, or Palo Santo works the same way, and you'll light the end of it, and it will start to flame or smoke. And then if you need to, you can like shake it or blow it to like actually light, extinguish the flame. But then the smoke is coming out. That's what you want for smudging. And then, if I may, you'll just use the fan to disperse the smoke. And I always personally smudge myself first because I believe that our energy is carried into the rest of the smudge, however you're performing it. So smudge yourself first, and then if you're going to do your space or your crystals, you can continue on to do that. So that's how you would use it, but then again, if you want to hold it, you're welcome to. So in addition to clearing negative energies, some people believe that it really helps to create a complete experience if you balance the energies of the 4 elements as well as divine masculine and divine feminine. So that would be the 4 elements are earth, air, fire, and water, and then yin and yang is divine feminine and divine masculine. So in the elements of the kit, whatever you're burning, whether it's the bundle or Palo Santo, that represents earth, and then when you light it, obviously that represents fire. Right, and then the feathers represent air, and there's a seashell on the fan to represent water. And the seashells and the feathers are always naturally foraged, and we do have some feathers that we're very blessed to have been gifted from local sanctuaries or people who we know that are trusted rehabilitators and caregivers of birds. But always we try to really keep compassion in mind when it comes to getting all the elements together for creating our collections. And with the seashells, so anyone who is familiar with smudging, or if you've seen them in stores, abalone shell is a really popularly included element in the collections, those big rainbow shells. And Ken and I, we have them at home. And when I was researching sourcing abalone to create the collections, my kind of proverbial bubble was burst a little bit, because I had this notion in my mind that they were washing up on the shore and they were being peacefully foraged, and it turns out that that's actually not the case. I think that I'm not positive on the number, but I think that it's over 98% of abalone that exists is commercially farmed for their meat and shells, because abalone was hunted to the brink of extinction, and now they're commercially farmed. And so we really believe in compassion for all creatures, big and small, and we think that the energies of the elements that go into the collection are really a big part of the energies that are going to be utilized or created when using that. So for that reason, we actually made a conscious decision not to include abalone. So instead, we have peacefully foraged seashells that we put on the fans in order to represent the element of water. So you still get that balance in what we believe is a really peaceful and compassionate way.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. And so the feathers represent the element of air, in addition to just using it to disperse the smoke. And something really cool in Native American tradition, it's believed that our prayers and intentions are channeled up through the hollow shaft, and that blessings come back down to us. So I thought that was really beautiful. And then every fan always has an amethyst crystal. So amethyst, you said selenite is your favorite. Amethyst is my favorite. I love all stones, but amethyst is always...
You're like, ooh, it just gets me.
Yes, it's my birthstone. The first crystal that I ever got actually was an amethyst cluster that belonged to my grandmother, who was, our birthdays are 2 weeks apart. And that was really special, and my love of crystals, I think, started from there. And amethyst has just always been my favorite. And the reason amethyst is included is not just because it's my favorite, but we believe it's really well suited because it connects with our third eye, which is our center for intuition, and promotes a sense of peace and calm. So that's definitely something that we wanted incorporated into the smudging experience. And it's wrapped in copper wire, which amplifies the energies of the crystal. And then the leaves on here, in Chinese tradition, the leaves of the cosmic tree represent the connection between all living things.
Oh wow! So this is a cosmic tree leaf?
Just there are leaves naturally foraged
just
leaves, but in Chinese tradition, that's what the leaves of the cosmic tree. So it's to bring in that symbolism. But when we any elements that are wildcrafted, like from plants, we really take it very seriously, and we try to put a lot of positive energy and intention into the way that we collect everything. So whether it's Ken or I that are collecting the leaves, we actually stop and meditate, and we ask the plant for permission. And always make sure to express gratitude when we're collecting leaves. And then if there's ever any elements that we don't use, or like after we make our sprays, the things that we pull out of the bottle, because we don't include any of the loose like sage and rosemary that I was talking about, because we don't want it to clog the sprayers. We give it back to nature as well.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. We really love to do it that way. So that's what the leaves represent. And then we talked about the seashell, and there's snail shells on the back, because I don't know if you're familiar. Yeah, aren't they adorable? I don't know if you're familiar with sacred geometry, but they represent the nautilus or the Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah.
So for anyone who's not familiar, Google Fibonacci sequence. It's really cool.
I'm just gonna get a little bit closer. Go. You can keep talking.
Okay.
Oh, I hit the mic.
So it's a geometric pattern that exists in everything in nature, which is really cool. If you're into sacred geometry, or if you're not, maybe you'll get into it after this video.
Yes, please. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So and there's 3 on there also, because as we kind of talked about a little bit with the logo, 3 is a really sacred number. It represents the Holy Trinity, beginning, middle, and end, heaven, earth, and waters. And if you're into numerology at all and look up number 3, there's some cool stuff
Mind,
with that
body,
too.
spirit too.
Yes, mind, body, spirit, exactly. And 3 is my life path number. So there's 3 snail shells on there. And then it's wrapped in biodegradable hemp twine. And then at the bottom, there's a pine cone. The pine cone is the universal symbol for our pineal gland, which biologically is our third eye in the center of our brain. So that's another cool thing to Google if anyone is not familiar with the pineal gland. And you can look up ways to open your third eye, or also it's worded as like decalcifying our pineal gland.
We touched upon it a bit with Eric.
Yes, I watched it. That was an awesome interview.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I learned a lot about him and just in general.
He's a wonderful person, and he's one of the biggest reasons that I was able to get into all of this stuff. Yay! Actually, yeah, he was one of the first people that I connected with when I moved out here. My healing journey definitely started with moving out to Vegas. It was really beautiful and synchronistic the way that things came all into place. Before I moved here, I was living in Florida, and I started around 2010, around that time. Oh, that's okay, thank you. Around 2010, I started to have, it's actually started with just fatigue, like sinus infections and bronchitis, and it continued to worsen, and I ended up with some pretty severe chronic health issues. And I was working with children, as we were talking about a little bit before we started. I did that for 11 years. I was a preschool teacher and a preschool director, and I loved it, but I was getting sick to the point where I wasn't able to keep up with my job as much, and so I actually even tried just getting a job at the supermarket. But I was diagnosed with a condition called hemiplegic migraine. So migraine, I know a lot of people associate migraine with headache, which is probably the most common symptom, but migraine is actually a neurological imbalance, and so headache can be one of the symptoms. But when you have hemiplegic migraine, when you're having migraine activity, instead of having a headache, it's like having a stroke. So the whole right side of my body is affected. So it can be like numbness, tingling, weakness, paralysis, so it can be really difficult to function. And I was trying to work through a lot of that, and so it was just difficult. Like over time, over several years of that, there was a lot of muscle atrophy, so mobility became really difficult, and I ended up not being able to do that career anymore, so I wasn't working, and it became a really difficult time where I lost my apartment and my car and my pets, and my relationship that I had been in ended, which was a blessing. And I have sisters out here, and I actually moved out here to live with my oldest sister that was going to help me out for a little while, and I didn't want to come. I wasn't ready to leave and start new. I wasn't happy with where things were going, but it's going to be 2 years here at the end of this month. Yay! And I can't even believe how blessed that I am. I'm so happy and grateful, and it's amazing to be able to look back now in retrospect and see how all those challenges were actually lining me up to be exactly where I needed to be, because the trajectory that my life was on, even though I thought I was happy in a lot of ways, really needed to change, and I wouldn't have ended up here if it wasn't for all those struggles that I had gone through. And I didn't know there was such a huge vegan community out here, conscious community. Really? Oh. No, I had no idea.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, when I moved out here, it was just such a blessing. And then, I met Ken, who turned out to be my soulmate, love of my life, business partner. And as I was saying, like, Eric is one of the first people that I connected with through one of the vegan groups. And when he heard what was going on with me, he reached out to me in tears, actually. Like, he's such a beautiful person, and you know that he's truly a healer, because he knew my situation and that I wasn't able to work.
Because he's a knower.
He's a knower, and I was in a really dark place, and he reached out to me and he said, I'm called, I have to help you. If you're open to it, I would love to do Reiki with you. Aww. And our relationship started that way. And from our first session, it was amazing. And I really felt, when I first started learning about energy healing, I didn't really understand it. And I actually had a reaction where I was a little defensive at first, because I thought I was being told that it was my fault that I was sick. But when I was understanding that energy healing means that all of our chakras serve a different purpose, and when they're out of balance or blocked, it creates physical manifestation. So we're in charge of doing the soul work to balance our chakras, and then it can create wellness. And when I understood what it really meant, it became super empowering, because I had spent so many years asking doctors to help me and heal me, and all these pills that I was taking wasn't solving any of my problems, and it was giving me a lot of side effects. And by the time I got here, I was really in a place of desperation.
Yeah.
And when I met him, that was really my first experience with energy work, and it was just phenomenal, magical, journeying into that. And a lot of this is things that Eric has taught me, so thank you, Eric.
Yay.
And being able to really find a passion in it and create something and being able to share it with other people has been amazing. And something that I really love about it is that I don't claim to be an expert. Ken and I, neither of us do, but I think that's part of the reason that it actually seemed kind of perfect to create this business and to do this, is because we really want people to believe or to understand that you don't have to be an expert in order to take this and make it your own. We all resonate with it in different ways. We should all have access to it. If there's something that resonates with you or that can help you feel healed or whole or complete or centered, that we all deserve to have that. And we're all teachers, and we can all learn from each other too. And it wasn't really a business until I connected with Ken, and he and I connected really synchronistically too. We met 2 years ago on Thanksgiving through mutual friends, and we were just kind of acquaintances, knew each other, and then through the Crystal group, which, quick side note, if anyone would like to join us, we have, our group is called LVV Crystal Cave. We're on Facebook, and we talk about crystals. We do monthly meetups. It is a vegan group, but you do not have to be vegan to join the group. Anyone is welcome.
I want to join.
Yes, please. We would really love to have you. The more the merrier. We do monthly meetups, and again, you don't have to be vegan to join. No one's going to ridicule you if you're not vegan. It's a really loving, basically the only rule in the group is love. It's really loving, inclusive, and welcoming, but it was started from a few friends who are vegan through friends in the vegan group. And at our meetups, we usually do lunch and or a potluck, depending on what the event is, and all the food is always vegan. But everyone is welcome. Yeah, it's really fun. Our next meetup coming up, actually, Eric is doing a private sound ascension circle exclusively for group members. Our meetups are on the first Saturday of the month, where it's going to be at Juicy Beats. And then,
wait, did that already pass though, right?
He does his own, him and Colleen, and he does some individually. They do it twice a month. Yes, but he's actually doing, this one is just exclusively for our group.
But the first Saturday already passed, right? So
of the coming month. It's for April.
April, yes. So that the
sorry,
March
I
one.
didn't understand your question.
So March already happened.
We just had our March meetup. We went to Silver Post in downtown Summerlin, and then we went to Vegan Bites for lunch. It was really fun.
Was Kim there?
No, I haven't met Kim.
Okay, just kidding. Maybe.
That's
some cross Facebook posts. I don't know, but I remember seeing yours.
So as a side note, yes, we would love to have anyone join us. And so Ken and I had met. We were acquaintances, and then he started coming to some of the meetups, so it was nice to see him and interact a little bit more. And then the same mutual friends who had introduced us, actually, I made her a fan for her birthday, because I wasn't selling them or anything. And I had some friends that were encouraging me to, you should sell these. And I was kind of like, no, you know. And I made one for her birthday, and he was there, and he had said, like, wow, this is really beautiful. Do you sell these? And I said, no, I don't. He's like, well, I have a friend that I think would really love one, and I want to buy it for her. Can I buy one? I was like, yeah, sure. And I tried to give it to him for free, and he wouldn't take it. So he came over to pick it up, and he stayed for like, I think 5 hours. And we were just talked and connected, and it was just like amazing.
Just beautiful.
And every day for several months after that, we just talked for like hours and hours, and it was like with everything in our relationship, the business kind of just happened and fell into place. There wasn't a ton of conversation about how are we going to do this. Like, he encouraged me a lot, and was a big part of giving me the strength and the courage to kind of show myself and show these things that I was making. But it became a business, I think, when he came into the picture, and the jewelry that he makes is really beautiful, and we're just having so much fun together doing like
balance each other out. Like, he's the business mind. Is he the business mindset of like?
We both are, but he's super. I would say so. Yes, he is the business mind. He's very business minded. He's owned his own business in the past, so he definitely understands more of the big picture stuff. But with my background, I'm able to do a lot of like our social media and marketing and like I don't know if it's more the behind the scenes stuff, but he definitely is business minded, and thankfully he's very, very strong. So he carries all the heavy stuff, and I mean the craftsmanship that he puts into his jewelry is amazing, and he's a big part of creating these as well. I mean, he helps like put everything together, like all the intricate details. He's so meticulous, and when we put Reiki energy into things, we always do it together. And that's our next adventure. We actually just got our Reiki level 2 attunements on 2/22. Thank you.
Oh, on 2/22.
Yes, we did that on purpose because we believe in the power of numbers, and so we're really excited about that, and we know that what we're doing now is just a first step in the direction of really where we want to be and following our purpose. So we're excited in the future, I mean, hopefully by the end of the year, to be able to expand what we're doing to include offering Reiki services to people. Yeah, so I think I covered everything that's in the collection. So this is our deluxe collection, and we also have a mini collection too. So the mini collection, we got these cute little boxes.
Oh, they're so cute.
Yeah, thank you. And so there's a pamphlet in this one too. And I'll just pull this out really quick. So there's just comes a spray in here and a Palo Santo stick. And then this one has a selenite palm stone.
Ooh.
So that's the mini collection.
So
and there's a pamphlet in there as well that goes over everything as far as like what it is and what's in there. So we have the deluxe and mini collections. And then something else cool that I just thought I would show, because I know you said you're into crystals and we were talking about like chakras and meditation and stuff. We have a bunch, but I thought this was something really cool to share, that we have these chakra crystal sets. So we were really excited. We actually found these in Tucson because we had them before, but we kind of like improved upon the stones that we had, because the shape of these are really nice and flat.
Yeah, they're really flat. I like that.
Which is perfect because I'm super into chakra meditations. I don't know if you've ever done those, but I really enjoyed doing that with crystals. So you can, I lay and do it, and you put a crystal on each chakra, and as you're meditating, the crystals interact with the energies of your chakras and kind of help to create that balance.
It doesn't fall because it's flat.
Right, and so we were doing it with pocket stones, like personally, and then when we originally created these sets, we were using pocket stones, and we were so pumped to find these in Tucson because they lay really well on the chakras. But you don't have to use, oh, I'm sorry, I'm kind of holding it over here.
Like, that's just for me. No, I'm just kidding.
So yeah, you don't have to meditate with them, with crystals. It's really the same thing with crystals. We tell everybody that it's however it resonates with you. You can carry them, you can keep them in the bag, put them on your desk, work with one at a time. And we talk a lot about crystals and stuff for beginners at, we offer free parties. So if anyone's interested, it's something that there's no catch, no obligation. We'll just come to you, set up at your home or at your business, and we talk about crystals, chakras, energy healing, smudging. We lead a guided meditation, and then we do have our inventory available to shop from. And Custom Cakes by Rachel does samples of her vegan treats there as well. So we have refreshments, and yeah, it's really fun. And we talk more about crystals as far as like the basics of what healing crystals are, what they do, how to cleanse, charge, and program them, different ways you might like to incorporate them into your meditation routines or your everyday life. And I mean, I could definitely...
You're just like, I can go hours on hours.
I could. It's really fun being able to connect with like-minded people and talk about this kind of stuff. But Ken and I talk about a lot that one of our favorite parts actually of doing this business so far has been connecting with people who are not familiar with smudging.
Yeah.
It's been really cool. We actually have had on more than one occasion, people will come out to some of the local events that we're doing where we have a table and be like, I saw your stuff on Facebook and I don't know what smudging is. Like, I had to come and find out. And it's like,
oh, yay!
It's so cool. That's the most amazing. And or people that just happen to be walking by and are like, what? That's pretty. What is it?
Yeah.
And to be able to talk to them about it and then have people be like, wow, that sounds really cool. And even, you know, if they buy something, that's great, so you know that they're going to be able to take it home and connect with it and really start that practice. But even if someone just says like, I'm going to go look that up, it's like so exciting. I feel that we really recognize how blessed that we are to be able to spend our time doing what we love and to help bring a passion to other people that we truly believe is healing and enriches other people's lives and really promotes a sense of love and positivity. So it's just so much fun, and thinking back on like the struggles that I've moved through, which obviously I'm still having struggles now. I'm working through things health-wise.
We all have struggles.
Absolutely. But to be able to see where I was to where I've come now in so many different ways, I just feel so blessed, and it's like I almost can't believe that this is my life, and to meet people like you and to be able to talk about just like conscious awakening and It's amazing, and we really believe that the shift is happening, and so many people are really coming back to their center and becoming more spiritually minded and finding ways to heal and promote love and positivity in ways that resonate with them, and making these amazing connections. And Vegas is such an amazing place to be for that. There's such a sense of community here, and all creatives and business owners are really coming together and supporting one another and doing all these cool projects. It really feels like there's a family here with its arms around you, and everyone just wants each other to succeed, and there's so much love. It's just awesome.
It's just really ironic because, you know, Vegas, Sin City, blah.
Yes.
But there's actually, like you said, there's actually a really big spiritual community here.
There is, and I think that there's a reason that light workers are drawn here, and I've met so many amazing people. It's just, I love it here. I had no idea that Vegas was so amazing.
Yeah.
It's just so awesome.
I've lived here for 20 years now, actually.
Wow.
Just realized that. But yeah, I used to hate living here, and I just didn't understand why anyone would live here. But now, where I am now, I can't really see myself anywhere else.
Right.
For now, at least, because it's just, there's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of opportunities here, and there's a lot of people just working together.
Right.
And I've heard stories from other cities saying that it's more like cutthroat, and they aren't more collaborative, and I'm just like, wow, it's really surprising that Las Vegas is like that.
Is. One, I know, like for me, before I moved here, I definitely thought, okay, it's the Strip and sand.
Yep.
And I just didn't know much about it when I got here, but exactly like you said, like now it feels like home. And there is such a sense of community here, and like you said, like everyone is just collaborating, and there are so many opportunities. And I definitely miss the beach. Being from Florida, I would say that's the one thing. It actually came up in my Facebook memories yesterday, like a picture or video that I took at the beach of just the waves coming in, and I miss the beach, so I'll need to make a trip there soon. But really, Vegas feels like home. It's just so amazing how the universe can have these plans for us that we could never see coming and that we didn't expect. But when we just open ourselves to it, everything just starts to flow in abundance.
Yes. Yeah, I've been really trying to be big on, not trying, I am being really big.
I love that.
I'm being really big on abundance, because there's just, I'm at a time right now where I'm kind of like teeter-tottering on some things, but I just need to step back and be like, no, just leap and let the net appear, and the abundance will come. So
it's a really big lesson in trust. And that's really exciting that you're doing that, and I love that you eliminated trying to. It's so hard to break those patterns of the way that we think and the way that we speak. And you know, like our words are energies that come into reality. So to be really mindful with our speech and say, no, I'm not trying to do it, I'm doing it. You are creating that reality right there. So you're manifesting abundance. And that shift, though, is really a challenge, and it's something that Ken and I both struggled with, and still struggle with, honestly, like in making the leap into doing something like this. Because for me, it was really perfect, because I'm not able to do a 9-to-5 job, and I'm able to do something creative that I can do from home and work at my own pace. So that's really great. But I know for Ken, moving from, like, he was in real estate and he's owned his own business, and then moving into this type of, I guess you could call it an alternative business or lifestyle, where it's something we're creating ourselves from nothing, and it's really outside of the system that we're used to being programmed to strive to attain for, you know. There is that sense of worry, like, is this going to work? Are we going to be okay? And it's been a really beautiful lesson in trusting that if we follow our purpose and our passion, that the universe is going to provide us with abundance, and to move from a fear-centered lack perspective into a gratitude-based abundant perspective, and just knowing that we do believe in the power of love and connection and positivity and the healing capabilities of what we're offering and what we want to bring to people, and that if we follow that, that abundance will come too. But it is a constant practice, you know. I mean, we're all only human, and these systems, you know, it's been, you know, for me, 33 years of being conditioned to believe that you need a certain type of lifestyle to be successful, or to make money, or just, you know, just to be okay. And when you can learn to let go of that, though, I'm really beginning to experience such a sense of freedom and joy that really, I mean, I've been happy and very blessed in my life, but the deeper sense of joy, knowing that you really can follow your passions and do what you believe in, and things that not only are healing for you, but that you can touch other people. We had one of our free parties that we did we had led the meditation, and there was a woman in the meditation who was actually moved to tears. And she came up and hugged me afterward, and she said, this doesn't happen to me. Like, I don't get emotional in meditation, and I'm so grateful for this experience and to have connected with you. And to have experiences like that, or people that will just come up and talk to you or message and reach out after we've connected, maybe at an event or online or whatever, and to give feedback like that and say, this has really touched my life and made a difference and helped me connect with who I want to be and my centered sense of wellness, is like so rewarding.
Yeah, it really is. When I when I first started my podcast, there were some people that would DM me. I don't even know who they were, but one person like sent me this really long message. She's like, I found you on Spotify, but now I know that I stumbled upon you for a reason, and I'm going through a rough time, but thank you for that. I was like, oh my God, you're gonna make me cry. I don't even know who you are.
That's amazing.
But just those moments I'm just super grateful for, because it's kind of also that little nudge, just like, no, keep going, keep doing it. You're doing, like you said, following your purpose, and then everything will just flow. I still do have problems with, trusting myself and having those worries sometimes, so that's just the human experience.
Yes.
And just letting go of that fear and just making sure that you're okay. Like you're just where you need to be right now.
Yes. Ken says everything is perfect.
Yes.
That's what he always says.
Ironically, I never believed in perfect before, but now I do.
Well, I think it's a matter of perspective too, and looking at that, the saying everything is perfect. That doesn't mean that everything is okay and everything always has to feel good, but just knowing on a larger universal scale that everything is perfect. The struggle that you're going through is perfect because it's giving you the lessons that you need to be who you're supposed to be for the next moment and the next challenge. Things that didn't work out for you the way that you planned is perfect because it's opening a space for you to move into a greater opportunity that's going to serve your highest good even more. So we try to keep that in mind, and he's super supportive, and we remind each other of that all the time, that everything is perfect. And like you said, it's a constant struggle.
I gotta write that down.
Everything is perfect. Yes, I'll send it to you.
Thanks.
But I think it's so beautiful what you're doing. I was really excited to learn about your podcast, and when we met, like, your energy is just so like bright and contagious, and like you definitely are like a talker, which is cool. Like, I knew when I met you that you're someone that I enjoyed talking to, so when you said you did a podcast, I was like, oh, that's so perfect to sit down and have conversations with people in the way that you can connect people, and you can also make the topic of conscious awakening really accessible to people, and something that maybe people weren't familiar with or don't know about. They can go on YouTube and just kind of check it out, or that they want to connect with other people and learn more. It's so cool that you're doing that. So
thank you.
I know you're saying it's like a process that you're moving through, so thank you for inviting me and for sharing this gift with others, because we do need more people that are brave enough, to step out and do what they feel that they really want to be doing.
Yeah, and I can feel that. I say the same way for you. Like, when I first met you, you were very bubbly, and we, like I said earlier, we were talking for like a good 30 minutes straight, I feel like. And
it was wonderful.
Yeah, and she was actually the one when you were telling me the story of being vegan, because when I met her, I told her that I was very conflicted with myself, because I do work in an industry where I eat different types of food, but I do want to be more conscious. And when she was telling me her story about, what was your mom or your grandma? Was it your grandma that said, you'll be like, when the time is right, when you are shifting?
It's my aunt.
That was your aunt,
yes,
sorry.
No, that's okay. I wasn't sure where the story was going because I couldn't remember specifically our conversation, but yes, I'm very blessed because in my journey to veganism, my younger sister and my aunt were really my role models, and I had that same type of experience. And I remember that what you're referring to is the conversation I had with her, where I admired her sense of compassion and her lifestyle, but it didn't seem realistic to me or attainable.
Yeah, because you were like, I love meat.
I did, yeah, and I remember saying that to her, like, I know I'm a good person, but I just don't, when I eat steak, I just don't feel bad. And that makes me feel like maybe there's something wrong with me, because I hear what you're saying, and I'm a very analytical, logically minded person, and it makes sense, but I just don't feel bad, so I don't know if I can ever go vegan. And I know that I'm a good person and I have a big heart, like, and her response was, to me, perfection. She was like, that's okay. She said, you will make the connection in time. When you're ready, it will happen for you. Take your time. And she was absolutely right. And now I can't believe that once my perspective shifted, it was hard to believe that I had ever had any other perspective than having compassion for, like, I would never now eat another living being. But for her to have that patience and compassion for me and understand that we're all on a journey and everything is perfect and we get there in our own time, that patience and support is what I needed.
Yeah. And that really stuck to me. I mean, I'm talking about it now because I feel like I am going through that shift now. Like, I haven't eaten meat in like 5 days, so I'm like proud of myself.
I'm proud of you too. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
Every day helps. Every meal helps. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
Good for you. And I think I noticed for myself over time that I felt a lot better when I switched my diet. So one of the first things I cut out was dairy, because long before I went vegan, I started making dietary adjustments because of my health issues. And one of the first triggers I identified was dairy, or I thought. So I was doing like a migraine journal and like elimination diet. I cut out dairy, and I have not had one sinus infection since. I was chronic sinus infections and bronchitis, and this is not an exaggeration. I was literally on antibiotics more often than I was off them because I was so constantly sick and just trying to cope and keep working. Since I stopped eating dairy, I have not had one sinus infection, and I was very overweight, and just from stopping eating dairy, I lost like between 50 and 60 pounds.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And the thing is, too, a lot of people think that vegans just eat salad, but I mean, since transitioning, Ken and I eat probably a lot more burgers than we should. We love the Beyond Burger.
Yeah, oh, me too.
Shout out to Veggie Street.
Yay.
Yeah, we eat burgers, ice cream, like Ben & Jerry's has vegan flavors, so you really can, I mean, absolutely eating healthfully. I think as we're talking about spirituality, I do believe that there's merit in eating healthfully, and I have friends who are really great role models as far as doing cleanses and raw diets and fruits and things like that, and I am moving towards that, but I'm in a space right now where I'm really enjoying my time and enjoying my foods. And if you're interested in possibly transitioning to veganism, I do think it's really important knowing that there are really delicious, comparable, satisfying vegan options, and this is a great city to be vegan. And if anybody has any questions about being vegan or going vegan or experimenting with it, I would really like for people to know that they can always consider me a resource. If you reach out to me on Facebook, I'll always be supportive and not judgmental. There's a post on my Facebook page that I created, I think last year, and I compiled a whole list of references, so it's links to like different YouTube clips and documentaries and vegan activists and like recipe pages and vegan apps and stuff, just for beginners, websites, things that might be helpful.
Like a 101.
Yeah, but I mean, individually too, anyone can always message me. I would love to talk more about that, and that's kind of also part of what our crystal group is about, LBV Crystal Cave. It's definitely no pressure, but it's an environment where if you do participate and come to the meetups, you have access to try this really delicious vegan food or snacks or whatever once a month, so that you can experiment with it a little bit in a no pressure environment, no judgment environment, really friendly and loving, and see that it is delicious and it is attainable. It took me a really long time to transition. Once I decided I was going to go vegan, it probably took me about a year of incorporating vegan recipes and doing like meatless Mondays. And there's no one right way, like I keep saying with everything, but a lot of people, I kind of did it backwards to what I think most people do, is where people are usually go vegetarian and then vegan. Yeah. I had already cut out dairy and eggs like several years prior for my health reasons.
Oh, is that usually like the last step?
Usually, yeah. Or, I mean, again, I don't know that there is a usually, but I would say popularly, at least in my experience, what I've heard is people go vegetarian and then they go full vegan. Yeah. Or that's kind of like, you know, baby steps or whatever. And any step in the right direction, my belief is any step in the right direction is to be praised. If you're trying and you're wanting to make a difference, that's great. Meatless Monday, that's great. I really think that, and for me, that's what I needed to make those steps, and I made it there. You know, we're all doing our part, but I had cut those things out, and meat, it took me probably like another year, because I was definitely one of those people that I was like, I could never go vegan. I love meat, and I still love meat. The thing is, I haven't stopped eating meat. I've just stopped eating animals. I eat plant-based meats now that are really satisfying and filling, that I can enjoy, because I know that there's compassion involved. You know, so yeah, definitely. I could be a resource if anyone has questions or wants to reach out. I will always do my best to help you, and if there's anything that I can't help you with, I'll try and point you in the direction of where you can get help and answers.
No, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, our conversation definitely is one of the big deciding factors of like making that first step, because I'm not going vegetarian. I'm like trying to go, I'm going pescatarian. So trying again. But yeah, baby steps, like you said.
Well, Thank you. I'm really excited to hear that, and I'm very proud of you. That's awesome.
Well, it's only been 5 days.
Still, I mean, honestly, truly, every day is great. Every meal is great. So definitely, if I could offer any advice, I would really say to be patient with yourself, be gentle with yourself, and really connect with your sense of compassion and gratitude, because I think that veganism is a lifestyle and it's based on compassion. And I think that just like everything else in life, it really begins with us. And so if you're showing that sense of compassion to yourself and being gentle with yourself and knowing that you're doing your best and you're trying and you will get there, that it really can help it become an easier transition, because it can seem really overwhelming when you start, but once you get into the swing of it, it honestly is much easier than a lot of people might think, or than it might seem at the beginning. And there's going to be accidents and slip-ups. Like for me, I've been full vegan for over a year or 2 years. I have to think about that for a second. I'm not
like,
sure.
hold on, time.
It's been a while, and just recently I was eating crackers that I had grabbed at Whole Foods, and I had eaten several of the crackers, and it wasn't a brand I usually got, but I was at a different Whole Foods and I got this dip, and there was milk in the crackers.
You're
and I was
like,
like,
no!
oh, and it was a health food brand, and I'm usually super careful about the labels, but it was an accident. It was a slip up. Like I'm usually very conscious.
And you're not beating yourself up
on it. No, I'm not beating myself up about it. I just need to know for next time.
Yeah.
You know, so just be patient with yourself and you'll get there. And it's very exciting that you're trying. I mean, you're helping your body, you're helping our environment, you're helping the animals, and really promoting that sense of compassion. So it's really exciting.
Yeah. It helps a lot too that I think at least half of the people that I have had a conversation with on this podcast is vegan, so it's been cool to learn little bits and pieces of like how they kind of started their journey. And
there's so many different ways to do it. I mean, I know that that's like, I keep repeating that, but honestly, if people can take one thing away from me, I think it's that there's no one right way. All of our journeys are different, and what resonates with you and feels right for you is right for you. And I think that you were saying so many different people, you know, have gone vegan that you've talked to, and I don't think it's a coincidence that you're doing a Conscious Awakening podcast, and that has been the case.
Oh yeah.
Because I guess the point that I'm getting at is that in my situation, I have no doubt that transitioning to a vegan diet was a huge step in my spiritual journey, and helped me to access deeper parts of my spirituality and my compassion that I think I wasn't as connected to before, because really what we put in our bodies on a spiritual and energetic level manifests in who we are and the experiences that we have in the world. Like, I know a lot of people maybe haven't considered that perspective yet, but if you're eating, you're consuming death and the fear of those animals, you know, before they've been killed. That's becoming a part of you if you're really looking at energies. And I never thought of it that way. And honestly, I don't know if I ever even really thought of it that way while I was transitioning. It's almost more in retrospect, because I began to notice some of the other changes subsequently that were happening within myself.
Yeah.
And now I can say with certainty, looking back, that that was a huge step for me in my spiritual journey.
Yay.
Yeah, so I'm very grateful.
Well, that was a great ending note, because it's actually already been an hour.
Time has gone by so fast. I've loved chatting with you.
Yeah, I love chatting with you. I feel like I was just kind of sitting here in a lecture, but it was like amazing. I was just not a bad thing.
Maybe my teaching background.
No, but that's amazing. Like, I really did learn a lot, and I feel like whoever does listen to it will take a lot from this, because I learned so much, and hopefully.
Thank you. I'm really glad, and I appreciate you having me so much. And really, if anyone has any questions about smudging or crystals or energy healing or veganism, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. You can find me on Facebook. Prism Sacred Smudging Collections is on Facebook and Instagram. Our Facebook group is LVV Crystal Cave, so you can feel free to join that as well. And I'm open to talking to anyone and everyone. And this lifestyle is for everyone. So in whatever way that it resonates with you, I would love to be able to talk to people more about that and connect them with a practice that they'll find deeper healing in.
And we can find you in person because you have a lot of pop-ups around town.
On our page, our next pop-up is going to be this coming Friday at Fetish Spa Parlor downtown on Fremont Street. It's a treat yourself pampering pop-up. So there'll be free vegan hand treatments, Girl Scout cookies, which there is a vegan option, acrylic pour paintings, and then we'll be there too.
Cool. Yeah. So I'll put all their description links in the below.
Yes.
Comments. Oh my God, I'm slipping up again.
All the links.
Just go all the links.
There. Just look down.
Just look down. All the links, description. Yeah, you get it. It's just real. But thank you again.
Yeah,
that was
thank you
amazing.
so much.
Is there anything else that you want to say before we head out?
I think that we've covered everything. I know we didn't have a solid plan, but I really enjoyed
No, that
the
really, yeah, that really
conversation, so.
flowed really well.
Great,
and so
thank
I'm
you. Yeah,
super happy.
Hopefully we covered everything. Hopefully anybody that's listening or watching found something of value. And if there's any questions or you just want to chat and connect, please reach out to us anytime.
Thank you for listening, and again, thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.